Like all of you, I had problems sleeping. I had tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. I'd flip-flop all night, use my arm for support, and fall asleep, or I'd wake up with a sore neck or maybe a headache. Well, quality sleep comes from keeping your neck straight at night. You have to fill in that space between your head and your bed. That's why I invented My Pillow. My Pillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back, stomach, side, or any combination of all three.
When I got My Pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get Classic King My Pillows for only $19.98. Queen size just $18.98. Standard Classic My Pillows only $14.98. That's right, only $14.98. Plus all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free.
That's right. Absolutely free, folks. Absolutely free. Make sure you head over to mypillow.com. Let's fight cancel culture together. You help out this platform. You help out a great patriot like Mike Lindell and his company, MyPillow. Thank you to everybody who's bought from mypillow.com and use promo code Oreo. We appreciate it. So we're going to go over today's topic. It's been a busy day. We've done a couple live streams today already, but we haven't done our regular show. So we're going to get the regular show in right now, guys. We got a lot to talk about. We got some protests going on in different areas. We got some great news of an executive order that Trump is signing or has signed. We had him sign the Laken Riley Act today, which is great. Sad we even need that in this country, but that's where we are. Some other breaking news and some top stories of the day. So once again, if you would hit that like button, hit that share button, and thank you to everybody who's in the house right now. We got Nola, Newfie, Mom X Swift, Jan Garner, Jalen, and Jay keeps asking. Thank you guys for being in here and welcome. I was actually watching Matt a little while ago. Matt was in his hometown doing a stream out there where they had some confused protesters that didn't know what they were protesting. If you guys didn't catch that, go over to his page, First Amendment Media, right there, and check it out. It was there was one thing that got me. I was actually had to repair the valve on the back of the toilet today. After that stream, I was having a leak and it wasn't working right. So I had to run to the store, buy the parts, and I had it on in the background. I was listening to it, and one of the protesters there tell Matt the same old stupid talking point because the left always says, well, your vegetable prices are going to go up. There's actually programs for people from Mexico if they want to come over here and work, that they can come over here temporarily. So he said that to Matt, and Matt goes something like, oh, it doesn't bother me. I eat organic. Hey, it was just funny the way it came out. It was good. So shout out to Matt for being out there. What do we got? What do we got to start off with today? Emergency crews are on the scenes of a small private plane crash near the highway with reports of victims being pulled from the records. This is Santa Barbara, California. Check this out.
Oh, no, there is a survivor. They got him. They got to a survivor. I know. They got to a survivor. Look. They got her out of there. All buy hoes, everything they want, cause my bag different. Real trips, nigga, all I hang around murderers and dope dealers. Real deal, keep pushing. Real bad hoe fucker. Real deal, white taker. Yo, hold me down.
So that will be investigation ongoing. That's Santa Barbara area near the 101 highway. It looks like, it says the fire spread to nearby vegetation. Officials say two people, let me pause that. Two people were on board and both sustained, rescue has confirmed both sustained major injuries and were transported by ground ambulance. So they're going to be investigating that. Prayers to all those people out there, and that's something you want to be involved in, a plane crash. Okay, we've covered this a little bit. Senator Bob Menendez He likes bars. He likes gold bars, but he's going to be behind prison bars now. Actually, we caught him coming out of court when we were in Manhattan, New York. He was found guilty of extortion, conspiracy, obstruction, and acting as a foreign agent to the Egyptians.
The stratosphere when it comes to sentencing. The sentencing guidelines in this case were.
Got some breaking news. Senator Bob Menendez, a former senator from New Jersey, convicted on extortion, conspiracy, and obstruction, and acting as a foreign agent after a sensational trial, has now just been sentenced to 11 years behind bars, according to our reporters inside the courtroom. We have Danny Savalos here with us who can help us understand this. Danny, this is such a big deal. Such a big deal. 11 years for a former senator forced to resign because of this conviction.
Back when this case was indicted, I assume Menendez's attorneys warned him that this is one of those cases. It's a white-collar federal criminal case where you have no guns, no drugs, no violence, no prior convictions.
Listen to MSNBC go to bat for him because he's a Democrat. Listen to what she says here. Look at her face. She's like, oh my gosh, my people are being put in jail. Look at that.
Who can help us understand this? Danny, this is such a big deal.
Such a big deal. Yeah, I would say so.
Such a big deal. 11 years for a former senator forced to resign because of this conviction.
Back when this case was indicted, I assume Menendez's attorneys warned him that this is one of those cases. It's a white-collar federal criminal case where you have no guns, no drugs, no violence, no prior convictions for Menendez, but yet it is the loss guidelines. It is the calculated loss that puts a case into the stratosphere when it comes to sentencing. The sentencing guidelines in this case were calculated at a maximum of 30 years, and that was driven almost entirely by the loss amount and also in addition based on his official status and some other level increases under the guidelines. But make no mistake about it, most of the boost here is because of the dollar amount involved. And that's got to give someone like Menendez's wife, who has not yet gone to trial, some real pause as she considers whether or not she does want to go to trial.
So his wife could go make a plea deal, it looks like. But again, remember, he's the one that took bribes, gold bars. He loves gold bars so much, but he's going to be behind some steel bars in a cage. And it's just amazing how that same person on MSNBC, when they said Trump overvalued their property, was like, send them to prison. But now it's one of their own. This was, should I be doing it? I'll put this over here. Let me move that. We'll get to the protest stuff in a minute, I think. No, you know what? I already had it over here. So we have, this was from Amy Reichart, Amy for San Diego. It says San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria is calling for Trump to be deported while standing with activists who say all Americans should be deported because they live on stolen land. Now, this is where we need ICE. This is where we need some investigations into Todd Gloria and some others. Take a look at this. The mayor out there. This is just clown world. No one is illegal on stolen land. It's not stolen. Deport Trump. This is what Mayor Todd Gloria is spending his time in San Diego, when we were just in San Diego, and he could really use some help. He could really use some help with that homeless problem. Now, we've covered this. The next story. The ghetto woman known as the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, she tried to cover up millions of dollars in funds spent on glam sessions and parties. And this is the one where former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot revealed findings of a 9-month investigation into Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. The report uncovered financial mismanagement, excessive spending, and an attempt to hide Dalton's financial troubles. It says in 2023, 779,000 was charged to credit cards, and $5.61 million budget surplus in 22 became a $3.65 million deficit by 2024. She's under FBI investigation. She is going to go to jail. I can promise you that. Take a listen to this.
He issued a statement writing in
early
Ghetto
late
fabulous.
2021. There was a concerted, systematic effort on behalf of Mayor Henyard and others in her administration to hide the true financial condition of the village of Dalton from the trustees and from members of the public. By March 2022, the trustees were effectively cut off from receiving regular financial reports.
Over the course of 9 months, Lightfoot delved into village credit card transactions. In 2023, charges amounted to $779,000. On Amazon, more than 50 grand was spent on artificial ice tiles for a winter rink. But Lightfoot says these purchases were not done in compliance with the village's purchasing policy.
It's really a criminal offense, in my opinion, how she have squandered our finances and to leave us in such shape.
And in March of 2023, Henyard allegedly ordered the village to stop responding to Freedom of Information Act requests. Lightfoot writing that the village's FOIA process is fundamentally broken. Late tonight, Henyard's attorney, Bo Brinley, issued a statement writing in part the idea that any credibility could be given to Lightfoot's findings about another mayor's financial decisions is preposterous. This is an effort by a failed political figure desperately seeking the limelight to which she is no longer entitled.
No, I don't remember. We covered this story extensively. I think she also held a meeting or canceled a meeting because she didn't want it to happen, which she has no authority to do. Or she held a meeting when it was already canceled and she held it. Didn't, you know, it was all false. But the people have been speaking up, surprisingly, and they want her ghetto ass out, which that's the taxpayers' dollars. Watch this, what happened at the meeting. She got her wig ripped off when her and her boyfriend or husband went to go fight somebody. They jumped somebody that was speaking and called her the B word. This is what Democrats want for young black children. This is the role models that they're pushing for them. The George Floyds, the ghetto mayors. Take a look at this. This is America, folks. Watch.
Business venture. Your restaurant was deemed nasty. It's proven while you talking about her education.
See how she's ignoring the speaker?
We can't even verify yours.
Oh.
But since you sold for women, I really already knew by the way you handled Fania. But for you to sit up here and disparage that woman after giving her that fake ass congratulations in the beginning because you thought you was gonna get what you wanted. Here's the thing. I want to educate you. Stephanie Wiedemann is a 20-year employee, and ain't none of her business ventures ever failed. On top of that, she serves as a chief of staff, and she didn't fuck her way to the top. Efficient in
Oh my
budgets and
God.
don't hide her deeds. She is efficient in organization. She served as a temporary interim executive director for the Dalton Park District until she stepped aside to help her daughter become something you'll never be, which is a married woman. And her daughter moved away to Texas, and when her daughter moved away to Texas, she went to help her daughter. But I done heard about 4 or 5 people tell me how they had to take care of yours. And so while you've been a half-ass mayor, but if you wanted to get up here and earn some respect, then you should have been able to respond to Lori Lightfoot's report about credit cards. You want to talk about them not coming to work, but we've been hearing about what you've been doing while you've been at work. And I'm going to give away the rest of my time because I think on behalf of the Black Cookout Association that we would better take a vote and we're going to exchange your black ass for Stephanie to be the newest member of our. So all those in favor say, all those against it say nay, all those in favor say aye. You go, bitch.
Watch this. See her get us. She got to run over there and jump in this fight. And that little wig fell off of hers. We got some other video. People are sick and tired of it. You see communities that wouldn't normally be at these events. Let's see which one is longer here. I think I got two. Take a look at this. Crazy, crazy. Let me refresh that so we can actually get it up here. I mean, this is a mayor jumping over the table to fight a Ghetto fabulous, folks. Ghetto fabulous. This is elections have consequences, and those folks in that community are realizing their consequences. I seen this today. This is a we see all the executive orders, how we're cutting out DEI and everything else. But before I get into that, don't forget tomorrow we will have our raffle for the Trump 47 jersey. It is, you get to pick from double XL or triple XL. If you guys want to get in, this is how we help fund your donations, or what puts us on the air, gets us to travel and gets us around the country. And we want to say thank you. But we have two of these, one double XL, one triple XL. And it says Trump 47 on the back. Then it says MAGA 47 with American flag on the front. If you want to get entered to win, every $10 donation gets you one entry. If you do $30, that's 3 entries. We do the drawing live during our show tomorrow. It'll probably be an afternoon show because I think in the morning we're doing confirmation hearings. But if you want to help, if you want to do that, Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army, or givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. This is all, again, you can also go to our website if you want to use Zelle. I know some of you prefer Zelle. You can go to theoreoexpress.com. We wish you all luck, and we thank you for the blessings that help us pay the lights, pay the gas, pay the rental cars, all the airfare and everything. And you guys make it all possible. So we've been seeing DEI dying. We've been seeing companies make different decisions. We've been seeing it come straight from the White House, all the federal government DEI positions gone. I seen this today, and I want to just read this to you. This is local, Fresno State, so it's about 2 miles away from my home. And it was from Fox News 26. It says, Fresno State's chief diversity officer announced her resignation. According to Transparent California, she was paid over $200,000 in 2023. Now, facing budget cuts, will the university replace the DEI officer? And again, I can promise you she did nothing to help the school. All the policies that come from DEI are discriminatory. They're racist. You guys know the whole thing. But I started reading some of the comments and I just laughed. I'm glad I voted no to update, remodel the campus with bullcrap positions like this. It says, eliminate DEI completely. Screw the DEI officer. What the hell is a DEI officer? It's definitely not a $200,000 per year job. And it's this one. How could you as a news organization not question the effectiveness of her position for that salary? How is your main concern her replacement? It's not news. Just getting blasted on here. Just getting blasted. And again, that is where we are at in this country. That's why Trump won every swing state with some of these policies that people are doing. So if you weren't around earlier today, guess what? we covered the hearing for RFK Jr. And before the hearing even started, before people were in the room, one of these posts went viral. You know why? The fake news, the legacy media already had their headline written before any of it was done. Take a look at this. This was a picture taken at one of the reporters in there. It says RFK Jr. faces grilling on anti-vaccine comments and animal mutilation at confirmation hearing. Trump live updates. And again, let's see what the other one is. It just shows, look at, there's nothing going on. The stories are written before the hearings. And again, this is, again, we are beating them. We are beating them. Thanks to independent journalists and people doing the work. That is actually a good story. And those of you that watched it with us, thank you. But you did hear a couple triggered folks. I think some of them were 8 times boosted with the COVID vaccine. I think this is one of them. Take a look at this.
Vaccines save lives! Bobby's lives kill! Vaccines save lives!
I love it, guys. Just a meltdown. That hearing was interrupted quite a few times actually this morning. And one of the things that RFK Jr. spoke about that I want to highlight, the 300,000 children that the Biden administration has lost to either human trafficking, sex trafficking, slavery, and some of them dead. Take a listen to RFK Jr.
Let me just reassure you that President Trump has personally spoken to me about locating those 300,000 children who disappeared over the last 4 years.
I don't think any accurate number, but it's hundreds of thousands. I agree.
And many of them we know have been sex trafficked and childhood slavery. And it is a blight on America's moral authority, and we need to find those kids. Let me just reassure you that
Trump is not playing around, for one. For two, he truly cares. And I wanted to say this, and I didn't say it in my live stream, and I'm not bashing any nominations, none of them. I think there is a lot of great nominations, Pam Bondi, everybody else. But I'm going to say this. I don't agree with RFK Jr. on a lot of things. I don't agree on his climate change policies. But when it comes to what we need as a country, making America healthy again, going after getting the FDA in order, getting everything back in order, and not allowing all these toxins and poisons to be put in our food, to actually do the real research that's required in order to save future generations and our children. I truly think that his passion for doing this is 100% absolutely true. I do think he sacrificed a lot to accept this nomination. I believe that his heart's in the right place, and not that other nominations are not. But you guys know, it's like when I talk to people, I didn't pick up a camera because I wanted to do this. I started off at the school board level. I have a lot of sleepless nights. I'm away from my family. I don't even make enough money to pay bills, but it's absolutely important to me when I look at my children and I look at where this country has gone. That gives me the energy. When I see how demonic this place has gotten, and I see them pushing all this ideology on our children, that kept me going. That's the thing that kept me going. And I see that in him more than I do any other nomination. It's not, Pocahontas today was saying, you got to promise you're not going to work for, it's not about money with him, folks. It's not about money. He's a very intelligent man. He can do a lot of different things other than do what he does. And he has sued the pharmaceutical industry because he feels that there's not enough research, that some of these things are poison, and he's getting ridiculed for it. So it's just one of those things, man. I don't know. out of everybody that's the nomination, I say for him personally, he wants this to be his legacy. He wants to make America healthy again more than anything else. So real Donald Trump is on a roll, folks. We got some stuff with Donald Trump, his press conference today, and some other stuff. Donald Trump has signed an executive order targeting radical anti-American ideologies in K through 12 education, banning federal funding for programs promoting gender ideology and racial equity theories. It's radical indoctrination. He has signed an executive order to get rid of radical indoctrination. It says the order reestablishes the 1776 Commission to promote patriotic education and directs agencies to rescind funds from schools that facilitate gender transitions without parental consent. Federal enforcement will now crack down on schools violating civil rights laws while promoting a curriculum that highlights American merit, excellence, and national unity. This is what that looks like here from the website. Ending radical indoctrination in K through 12 schools. You guys know we cover this. We cover the radical teachers. We cover the indoctrination. I mean, we spend, when we're not doing some things, we spend a lot of times in school board meetings. We've exposed a lot. The teachers union and how they're radicals, how they don't care about your child. They don't care. You have school districts that won't even let your child opt out of pornography. You literally have people that replace their school board members with conservatives to take this stuff out of school, and people like Gavin Newsom and Attorney General Rob Bonta right here in California suing the school district because they want teachers to keep secrets from the parents about their students' mental health crisis. This needs to come. And again, there's some issues, obviously, with everything. When Trump wants to send the education back to the states where I believe it belongs, but I think there has to be some type of watchdog, if you will. In California, you go to school in San Francisco, Oakland, Fresno. Literally, they're shitholes. Fresno is an absolute joke. 33% of the people that graduate, how can you even graduate if you can't write, if you can't spell, if you can't do math? They're just pushing their children through. Their good teachers are all but leaving and going to other districts, and the rest of the teachers are these shitty union teachers that don't give a damn about your child. Not one damn about your child. We've been to those board meetings. The board at the Fresno school board, what an absolute joke. Like that mayor we just covered practically. It says and your job is to help out when there's schools still doing that. Send that to us and not send us somebody else's post. We can find other people's posts. But if you have somebody in your family or your community that has shared something with you, send that. Tag us on, send us a DM on X about whatever it is. Stuff like this. This was Libs of TikTok. Look at this. SD schools invite students to change their name and or gender and instruct kids that they can hide it from their parents. SD schools allows children to identify as trans or non-binary in schools and actively helps them in keeping it a secret from their parents. And there's actual, screenshots of that. This one, wow, resident slammed Elk Grove Unified after a secret LGBTQP plus club was discovered at an elementary school. The club was being held at lunch and parents weren't informed of its existence. The school allegedly sent out a memo to staff called How to Respond to Resistance Against Rainbow Clubs. So it's not one or two people, one or two bad apples. It's the entire system. It needs to be reformed. And I would love to see an absolute reform. I want nothing more than Caden to start school in public school. For those kids that love public school, it's a great experience. But when you're being indoctrinated and you're not learning anything and you're getting out of school stupid, things need to change. This also came out today. USDA Inspector General had to be physically removed from her office after being fired by Trump. You can't make this up. This was here's the USDA inspector that had to be removed. So as you know, Trump is dropping the hammer and he is getting out the bad apples, the people that aren't going to put America first, the people that are pretty much activists in their roles in the government. And the left doesn't like that. But we did have another confirmation today for the EPA, and it's great. This is going to be a huge blow to the Green New Deal and all the things that the EPA has done. And that is Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin has been confirmed. And it's just another win. Again, they're going to go crazy, but he will be Trump's EPA administrator. And I think tomorrow, who do we got? Tulsi tomorrow for the confirmation hearing? I don't have my schedule up right now. I think it is Tulsi. Yeah. So today, the Federal Reserve, which we always cover when they make a move on what they're going to do, it says the Federal Reserves hold interest rates steady, defying pressure from President Trump. Let's take a listen to this.
Has been bringing inflation down. As expected, the Federal Reserve did keep its interest rates unchanged. The Fed leaving rates steady where they are in this decision. Its first decision of the Trump administration, first decision of 2025. Notably, one change in what the Fed releases its statement when it looks at kind of the big picture of the economy is that it says inflation remains somewhat elevated. So a little bit of a nod there, Kira, to the reality that the Fed is saying our main priority over the past 2.5 years, 3 years, has been bringing inflation down. They say they've made remarkable progress, but some of that progress has stalled a little bit. And now in its formal communications, the Fed is saying inflation is still somewhat elevated. So now what we're going to be looking at really closely is what the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, will speak in about 30 minutes, what he says about those risks from inflation, from the Trump administration's policies, as Alexis was saying, but also just any headwinds to the economy, which on paper looks really strong, but underlying questions about if there are reasons why it's taking a little bit longer than the Fed maybe had hoped to bring those prices down, Kira.
All right, got it. So, Alexis, give us a reality check here. Are those prices going to come down, and will they come down soon?
Well, you heard Elizabeth just mention what the Fed said in their statement. The Fed's feeling a lot less confident about inflation coming down the way they had hoped, which means that it's going to be most likely higher rates for longer. So if you look at the interest rate situation right now, I mean, you have mortgage rates near 7% once again. We still have credit card rates. They've come down a little bit, but they're still hanging out near record highs of about 20%. Even car loans are elevated. A 5-year car loan now around 8%. I guess the one good news is you're making a little more money on your money because as these rates remain elevated, you're getting better returns on your money in the bank. So if you have a savings account, money market account, CD, things like that. But most economists believe the Fed's going to take this wait and see attitude, and we could get possibly 2 rate cuts later in the year, if any at all, as we wait to see what these Trump policies mean for the economy as they work their way through the economy and what happens with inflation. I mean, in the coming days, we're going to learn more. We're going to have a jobs report out on Friday and then new inflation data later this month. But the Fed is expected to remain data dependent, as they always say they are.
All right. Got it. And Elizabeth, how do you think these high interest rates could be a positive, with those with
a positive, try to make a positive out of something that's absolutely negative. Trump, and again, that's all because of Biden's spending, Biden's economy. Trump did issue this and said, because Jay Powell and the Fed failed to stop the problem they created with inflation, I will do it by unleashing American energy production, slashing regulation, rebalancing international trade, and reigniting American manufacturing. But I will do much more than stopping inflation. I will make our country financially and otherwise powerful again. The Fed has done a terrible job on bank regulations. Treasury is going to lead the effort to cut unnecessary regulations and will unleash lending for all American people and businesses. If the Fed have spent less time on DEI, gender ideology, green energy, and the fake climate change, inflation would have never been a problem. Instead, we suffered from the worst inflation in the history of our country. Oh, man, it's good to have somebody. I mean, you know, it's good to have somebody up there that recognizes what's going on. We've covered it. We've talked about it. It's just crazy. Speaking about wasteful spending, let's listen to some of Trump's press conference. He signed the Laken Riley Act today. He also talked about and detailed some of the wasteful spending. Take a listen to this.
And stopped $50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms. 50 million. And you know what's happened to them? They've used them as a method of making bombs. How about that? We stopped an attempt to make an illicit payment for illegal alien resettlement. We canceled $181 million in DEI training contracts. This is just for the training of people in DEI, which has been terminated and completely terminated. And we paused $1.7 billion in unauthorized payments to foreign organizations, including stopping more than $40 million that was on its way out the door to the very corrupt World Health Organization, which has not done its job and not done it properly. We also blocked $45 million for diversity scholarships in Burma. 45, that's a lot of money for diversity scholarships in Burma. You can imagine where that money went. These were the types of payments and many others. I could stand here all day and tell you things that we found, and we have to find them quickly because we want the money to flow to proper places.
Yeah.
We identified
again,
and stopped
$181 million in DEI contracts, $107 billion payments to foreign organizations, $45 million in diversity scholarships to Burma. Yeah, diversity is dead. DEAD. So that is great news. He also signed an executive order establishing a 30,000 person immigrant detention facility at Guantanamo Bay. This was epic. It says, I am signing an executive order directing the Department of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparations for a 30,000 person migrant facility. Listen to this.
There's one step closer to a. Today, I'm also signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000 person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Most people don't even know about it. We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them because we don't want them coming back. So we're going to send them out to Guantanamo. This will double our capacity immediately, right? And tough. That's a tough place to get out of. Today's signings bring us one step closer to eradicating the scourge of migrant crime in our communities once and for all. And it was just it's just an unforced error that we even have to be doing this. Now we need Congress to provide full funding for the complete and total restoration of our sovereign borders, as well as financial support to remove record numbers of illegal.
So, you know, I don't think too many, this is actually very popular, even though Democrats tell you it's not. It's very popular with the voters and the constituents. One other thing, again, we talked about was the signing of the Laken Riley Act. And we have two videos on this. One, a rude reporter tried to talk about something else while he was signing this, and he let him have it. And listen to Allison Phillips, Laken Riley's mom, right here. Some of you might need some tissues.
Thank you, Trump. We would like to thank Senator Katie Britt for her diligent bipartisan work to get this bill through the Senate. We'd also like to thank Congressman Mike Collins for his unwavering passion and for leading on the Laken Riley Act from the start. Our family will forever be grateful for the prayers of the people across our nation and for helping to get this legislation into law. We also want to thank President Trump for the promises he made to us. He said he would secure our borders and that he would never forget about Laken. And he hasn't. He's a man of his word. We trust that he will fight for the American people. Most importantly, I want to thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because without his sacrifices, Laken's story would have ended on that horrific day that she was taken from us. But because of him, we can continue living knowing that we will see Laken again. There's no amount of change that will ever bring back our precious Laken. Our hope moving forward is that her life saves lives. We're so thankful that her passion for helping others and her legacy for doing good in the name of Jesus Christ will carry on. Thank you.
Man, Biden couldn't even get her name right. Didn't care. This was my Orcus. Everybody should be held responsible for this, for letting these criminal thug cockroaches that are out doing crimes in the street do that. Listen to this here. Listen to this here. This is signing of.
Mr. President, government funding. Can you take a quick question on government funding to pause?
I don't think this is appropriate time. Really. I respect that, but I don't think it's appropriate. I could just tell you government is doing very well and we're cutting way back, but this is not the appropriate time. Thank you.
So promises made, promises kept. Again, putting Americans first, and that's the way it needs to be. Now, Kristi Noem and our border czar, Tom Homan, was also there. Listen to what Secretary Noem said on CNN, and take a listen to this, and then we have another one from the press conference where she was with Tom Homan.
Today was really about Laken. It was really about these families in the United States that have lost their loved ones, many times their children. And it was so special to see President Trump recognize that, talk about their children and tell their stories, and then to see the bipartisan support of this bill being signed into law. Now, when we have individuals come into this country and break our laws, commit crimes of theft, larceny, assault, murder, rape, they will be detained by the Department of Homeland Security and turned over for prosecution. And that's a change from the last administration. And I think that everybody there, Republican or Democrat, we're all Americans. And we all recognize that this bill was necessary. And it was so special that it is going to help us always remember Laken and those who've been lost because of these tragedies. Today was really about Laken. It was really about
Riley, and just a tragedy. Totally preventable, just like many other tragedies that have happened in this country because of Democrat policies. Now, listen to this. This is Tom Homan and Kristi Noem takes questions about Guantanamo Bay being used as a migrant facility.
Mr. Homan and Secretary Noem, can we ask you a few questions here, please? Would you guys gaggle with reporters for a few moments? Thank you. You are both the top immigration advisors to President Trump, in addition to Stephen Miller. He just announced that he's signing an executive order to put 30,000 detention beds at Guantanamo Bay. I know, Mr. Homan, you've talked about needing more beds, but how exactly would that work, and when do you expect it to open?
You know, that is something that the White House is working on, to use resources that we currently have there at Guantanamo Bay. So we'll go through the process. The worst of the worst is where that could be utilized. So that potential is there. We know we need the infrastructure. We're going after these guys.
But who would run that? DHS? DHS or the Pentagon?
What you probably don't know, there's already a migrant center there. It's been there for decades. So we're just going to expand upon the existing migrant center.
How would logistics work for that? How would you get migrants down to Guantanamo?
We fly them to Guantanamo. Coast Guard, they encounter people in maritime. They can take them straight to Guantanamo Bay. The worst of the worst, the significant public safety threats, we can fly them. We fly.
We're doing it. We're already doing it.
Would
So
that be
we're
more
just building it out. We're
expensive
building it out and using our
What is
resources.
the worst?
Mr.
What is the
Mr.
worst
Holman,
of
what
the
kind of
What
Secretary Nunn, what kind of civilian oversight would there be?
civilian oversight?
Yeah.
The current civilian oversight that we have in our federal government today. We had an election in November that clearly said the American people don't want these criminals and dangerous individuals on our streets anymore. We're taking care of it at the
Madam Secretary,
what's your message for Polish
Cuba?
Americans who voted for President Trump and may have neighbors or family members who are undocumented, who are illegally here?
Listen, the law applies to everybody. It applies to American citizens. It applies to people who come into this country illegally. You will be held accountable for breaking our laws.
What actions
First of all,
will you focus on people
your question earlier. ICE.
Go ahead, Mr.
ICE has the highest detention standards in the industry. You can't find another state, federal, local, or city has higher detention standards than ICE. So every facility, including Gitmo, will have the highest.
So ICE would be running it.
Mr.
That's
Holman,
actually really helpful. So ICE would
ICE
be
will be-
running
of course.
and would be
That's our
staffing
Margaret
that.
Center, run out of Miami.
And any further action
Mr. Holman, isn't it
You
ISIS?
all are spending your time today covering Laken Riley and her family and this bill and the tools that it's going to give to make sure that families don't have to go through that again.
Well, on his
Mr.
plan,
Holman,
you were informed about.
We're covering that.
On
And
the-
there's
on
the-
one
how
question that
country
we'd
safe.
like to ask is if you have a sense of how much money it will cost, how much money will be invested in this
Bill or
facility,
the facility?
in the facility at Guantanamo Bay that
We're
the
working
president
on that
announced?
with reconciliation and appropriators in the House.
Are you
and the Senate.
finishing?
And any actions will be taken on those
Isn't it ISIS policy to
Won't cost as much as DEI's costed our country and destroyed our country. This is going to improve our country. And then Trump talked a little bit about Colombia. We covered that, how Colombia denied 2 of our flights where we were repatriating the illegals back to their own country. And the leader of Colombia folded like a cheap suit. Listen to this.
Took back that tough talk, but we may have tough talk from others, but it's not going to mean anything. They're going to all take them back, and they're going to like it too. They're going to like it. They're going to take it back, and they're going to like it.
They're going to take him back and they're going to like it. You just got to love it. Strong leadership, security through strength, leadership through strength. And then obviously there's been a lot of talk before Biden left office. He was trying to sabotage the Trump presidency. One of the things he signed was an agreement with one of the unions that people didn't have to come to work, but still get paid by you, the taxpayer. And Trump has said, you know what, that's not going to be the case. And then he's offered a buyout program for them. They will get 8 months of a severance pay if they decide to leave the federal government. That will save the federal government billions of dollars. This is what you call downsizing. This is what you call limited government. Listen to what he said here.
Because it was incorrectly reported yesterday, we have informed the federal workforce, which they've looked to do for many years, that if they're working for the federal government, they must show up to the office on time and on schedule. We don't want them. We don't want them to work from home because, as everyone knows, most of the time they're not working, they're not very productive. And it's unfair to the millions of people in the United States who are, in fact, working hard from job sites and not from their home. As federal employees, they must meet a high standard. They're representing our government. They're representing our country. If they don't agree by February 6th to show up back to work in their office, they will be terminated, and we will therefore be downscaling our government, which is something that the last 10 presidents have tried very hard to do but failed. Most of the people we're talking about have not been going to their federal offices in many, many years, from even before COVID. But they have nevertheless been paid. Some have worked, some haven't worked, and most of the studies say that some have just gone through the motions. We may ask these people to prove that they didn't have another job during their so-called employment with the United States of America, because if they did, that would be unlawful, as you understand. A lot of people are getting paychecks, but they're actually working other jobs. So they'll have to prove that to us that they weren't. In any event, we're requiring them to show up to work or be terminated. We think a very substantial number of people will not show up to work, and therefore our government will get smaller and more efficient. And that's what we've been looking to do for many, many decades, frankly.
I just love it. Every day is a Christmas gift. Every day is making America just that much sweeter. We played that one. That was a double. We played that one. Let's see. So we have protests going on. We'll show you some of those protests. These people are in the streets. Matt, First Amendment Media, was out at one in Indiana where they're protesting everything, the color of the grass. They don't even know why they're out there. So yesterday we shared one of Bill Malugan's posts, and it was about an arrest made. And here's more details on that arrest. ICE Boston announces that this MS-13 gang member they arrested during our embed last week had already been ordered deported from the U.S. in October and was facing local gun charges. Where's all those radical lunatic leftists that hate people with guns? Why do they still want him here? But he was released into the community by East Boston District Court the day before our embed, after the court ignored ICE's detainer request. He was also caught and released at the border by the Biden administration in March of 2021. To summarize, an illegal alien MS-13 gang member gets released at the border, has his due process, and is deported by a DOJ immigration judge, then gets arrested in Boston on gun and drug charges, where he is protected by sanctuary policy and released into the streets after ICE detainer request is ignored. MS-13 gang membership, a final order of removal, and firearms charge still did not warrant cooperation from ICE. There has to be some of these people held accountable. I'm telling you, the blood is on many people's hands, and there's going to be people that these jails constantly release. It's happening tonight. Someone was released just in the last week, and they will go on to assault somebody else, murder somebody else, rape somebody else. This is from ERO Los Angeles. Arrested an unlawfully present Mexican national who is also a gang member with convictions for domestic violence, vehicle theft, receiving stolen property, and filing false reports. This non-citizen is currently in ICE custody pending the removal proceedings. Remove, gone with it. We already did that one. Let's see. Got some doubles over here. Check out this one. This was from ICE, arrested and pending removal. This was San Diego. This was, what's the date today? The 29th. This was 2 days ago. It says his crime, he was an Afghan national, known or suspected terrorist, and already has an existing removal order. The last administration didn't put any effort in to remove him, but Trump is. And again, I'm all for legal immigration. I'm not for cutting in line. I'm not for not knowing who you are, where you're going, and why you're here. Border Patrol agents in San Diego, California, I seen this yesterday, seized 2 loads of dangerous narcotics on Interstate 8 in less than 1 hour. In both stops, canine teams were used to discover the 180 pounds of meth concealed within 80-plus drug packages. Take a look at this. This is the stuff we need off the streets. This is why it would be great to have a relationship where Mexico wasn't trying to give us the middle finger. Again, Mexico, their economy is helped by the cartel making money there. The cartel spends money there. They buy homes, they buy cars, they spend their money there, but that money is made off the backs of the death of American citizens and the drug abuse of American citizens. But 182 pounds. And I was amazed. Estimated street value, only $181,000. 182 pounds of meth just a few years ago was probably 10 times that much. But now you got fentanyl that's so cheap. You have all these drugs coming across that it's just lowered. That's insane. That's what, $1,000 a pound. Yeah, it's $1,000 a pound. Nuts. Here we go. Protest taking place outside Trump Hotel in Las Vegas, where protesters with foreign flags are yelling against mass deportations. If you don't like the country you live in the country you love, folks. Let's take a look.
Sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede.
That's how it is going to be.
Sí se
No,
puede,
that's how it
sí se puede, sí se puede,
Right.
sí se puede, 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 sí se puede. Sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede. Sidewalk!
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 On the sidewalk!
Get on the side.
Follow the law. Get on the sidewalk. It's just amazing, and we will be covering some of these protests as they pop up live on the ground, as always. Leftist TikToker proudly shows off his inflammatory Trump protest sign and another depicting Musk as Marie Antoinette with her head chopped off during a protest against deportations in Las Vegas. This was from I Meme, Therefore I Am.
Shit. Oh my God, it's an inflammatory sign. Fuck this shit. Oh my God, it's an inflammatory sign with a cartoon. And here's one for the real president, Elon Internet. Let them eat cake on Mars.
These people are going to have a really bad 4 years, let me tell you. And I'm hoping once they get some of these hardcore criminals, then they can start going to these little protests and checking documentation status. That would be awesome for ICE to show up there. Take a look at this one. This one was in Gainesville, Georgia. Take a look. Ooh, it's frozen. It's not even going in a circle. Hold on. Let's refresh that. Craziness.
Thank you guys. It's on both sides.
No American flags. Imagine that. You know, this is going to backfire on them, because those that have sympathy for some of the people that have tried to do it, you know, that came in illegally, but they haven't lived off the taxpayer. They haven't, you know, just sucked the welfare dry, living in 4-star hotels that me and you are paying for. They've been here for a while. They've wanted to do the right thing. Those people are going to be picked up and sent off too. And it makes it so much easier not to have feelings for those people when idiots like this get out there. And this is going to backfire in a major way. Trinde Aragua, gang member arrested in New York City, was trying to buy grenades. That was a Fox News article today. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? What else do we got? Deportation. This is from I Mean, Therefore I Am Again. It says today, ICE and Border Patrol agents are actively deporting illegal migrants from the United States back to Mexico on the Hidalgo Bridge in Texas, an international crossing into Mexico. We've been on that bridge before. Take a look for yourself. So that was that. Promise is made, promise is kept. Let's see, what else do we have? We always talk about the NGOs. We said that funding was stopped to places like Catholic Charities, Jewish Family Services, HIAS. Take a listen to DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. This is beautiful, beautiful. I can't believe how fast this administration is acting.
So now let's turn back to the border quickly. Now joining me is the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who has an exclusive announcement on more action her department is taking. Secretary, thanks for being with us here today. I understand you have something to share with us that we haven't heard yet about what you're going to be doing at DHS.
Yes, well, thank you, Will, for inviting me to be with you. Today, we are announcing that we have stopped all grant funding that's being abused by NGOs to facilitate illegal immigration into this country. So it's amazing to me the hundreds of millions of dollars that have been spent by the federal government that has been sent to NGOs to facilitate this invasion of our country. So I've taken action to stop those funds, to reevaluate them, and to make sure that we're actually using the taxpayer dollars in a way that strengthens this country, that keeps us safe. So I think people are curious when we look at grants that are given out by federal agencies at how they're utilized, and that evaluation needs to be done. We're not spending another dime to help the destruction of this country. We're going to make sure that we follow through on what President Trump has promised, and that's to make sure that we're securing our border, departing those who are here illegally, and committing criminal actions, and that our taxpayer dollars aren't spent to help it.
Absolutely epic, guys. Like when I heard that, we went there. We were just at Jewish Family Services Saturday, I think it was. Weren't we there Saturday or Friday? And we gave them an earful. If you missed that live stream, go check it out. These people were aiding and abetting. These people were trying to take away American citizens' rights from filming and recording. They were using your tax dollars to facilitate this invasion, and that time is now over. This is beautiful. I would love to see Catholic Charities, HIAS, Jewish Family Services just crippled. Let's see how you're going to pay yourself $200 and something thousand a year now. It's going to be great. Check this out. This was another deportation. This was Fox News gets exclusive access to the latest repatriation flights from El Paso to Ecuador. We got to see inside the C-17 as more than 80 illegal aliens were loaded inside and removed back to their home country. The Pentagon says that the military will help deport more than 5,000 illegal migrants who are currently in the Border Patrol custody in El Paso and San Diego. Let's see.
Look inside of this plane and exactly how this operation works. You have the military and Border Patrol. They are working together, showing really this massive show of force.
Any regrets coming into the United States illegally?
Shackled one by one, Fox gets an exclusive look as dozens of illegal migrants are escorted onto the C-17 military plane headed back to Ecuador.
Don't come to the United States illegally. If you do come to the United States illegally, you will be removed.
43 females and 37 males packed onto the plane, including some family units. These are illegal migrants from Ecuador who broke the law when they crossed illegally into the U.S. Border Patrol says they were already in custody, either found between ports of entry checkpoints, smuggling operations, or stash houses. While expedited removals aren't new, using military aircraft is.
This is the second largest plane the Air Force has. It's going to fit 80 of these illegal migrants. Border Patrol says the message is if you come into the United States illegally, you will be sent back to your home country.
It's all part of President Trump's plan to utilize military resources and crack down on illegal immigration.
To be able to have people back in their home countries within 7 hours, a range of a plane like this, 2,700 miles, that puts you pretty much anywhere in Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, and anywhere in between.
And the flight crew told me that this was the same flight crew that brought that group of illegal migrants over the weekend to Colombia. The Colombia government initially turned that plane around. You know what happens next. President Trump stepped in, threatened tariffs, and the government backed down right away. So they're hoping that is going to send a really strong message to any other country that decides not to cooperate and accept these planes with their own citizens inside, guys.
Hey, so Brooke, I got a question for you. There's
just incredible, guys. I did not think we would see this much movement for at least 8 to 12 weeks in this administration. What we are seeing right now, you want to talk about Operation Warp Speed? We're seeing Operation Deport Speed. And it's just absolutely incredible that your tax dollars are finally going to good use. I can't tell you how many NGOs we've went to over the last 4 years, how many times the confrontations we had, had the camera grabbed, everything else from these NGOs, and they are going to be done now. They will still get funding from far left Democrat Soroses and things like that, people that want an invasion on our country, but nothing like your tax dollars going to this. And don't forget, guys, got 2 things really quick. We have a raffle going on for a Trump jersey that will be sent out to you. We're doing the drawing tomorrow, so you don't got much time to get in. It's a Trump jersey. It says 47 on one side, 47 on the other. It says Trump on the back and MAGA and American flag up front. We got 2 sizes, XXL and XXL. So if you guys wear one of those sizes or want to get a present for somebody that does, and you want to help us out, you can give a donation in the amount of $10, gets you 1 entry. So if you do $30, that's 3 entries. We do it live here on the live stream. And again, thank you to old Uncle Bill for winning the last one and redonating it so we can get some more donations to continue paying the bills. If you guys want to get into that, again, we will be doing it tomorrow. You want to get in now. Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army, and givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. If you prefer Zelle and you want to do a Zelle transfer, you can go to theoreoexpress.com. That's our website. You scroll down a little, it'll be a donate now button. And again, just want to say thank you to all you folks that support, all you folks that are the Oreo Army, all our mods that keep us up and going. And before we obviously leave tonight, say a special prayer for our brother Ben Martin, who is still a January 6th political prisoner. Again, we do have some people we are contacting that were pardoned. I've gotten plenty of emails. I've reached back to a couple. I will get back to all of you. We will be doing over the next week and a half, an extra show, if you will, or an extra podcast where we will have some of these people that were pardoned and give you their version of the story, and get to speak to the American people. And so we can give them a voice, and that's important for us here. You guys know we were there on January 6th. We watched the federal government and what they did to American patriots, people that were standing up for what was right. And Benjamin Martin is now in McFarland, California. Had to turn himself in a day after pardons were issued, and he's now dealing with the deep state, and we need to say prayers for him. We need him home with his family. And so if you guys would keep Ben Martin in your prayers, he's a good guy, and we're not going to forget about all the other ones as well. So I want to say thank you for all you guys tuning in. Got a late show tonight. This is our 3rd show. It's time for some dinner. If anything goes breaking tonight, we are around the studio. We will go live. Once again, blessings to all. And thank you so much, guys, for being part of the Army and getting out the real.
Just like all of you, I had problems sleeping. I had tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. I'd flip-flop all night, use my arm for support, and fall asleep, or I'd wake up with a sore neck or maybe a headache. Well, quality sleep comes from keeping your neck straight at night. You have to fill in that space between your head and your bed. That's why I invented My Pillow. My Pillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back, stomach, side, or any combination of all three.
When I got My Pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get Classic King My Pillows for only $19.98. Queen size just $18.98. Standard Classic My Pillows only $14.98. That's right, only $14.98. Plus all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free.